Well, hello. So we've just gone through the history of the former Pleasurama site.
And now we have some really exciting information, don't we?
Well, we've got the interview.
We do have the interview
with
Andy Barrett.
Now, Andy Barrett, he was the owner of the Belgian bar.
Still is, I think.
Still the owner of the Belgian bar, but the Belgian bar is now closed, at least for the moment.
Yes, I know, exciting things.
He's a bit of a character in Ramsgate, well, actually in Thanet generally, isn't he?
Yes.
So Andy was one of Andy's was one of at least two bids.
For sort of big development.
Yeah, to redevelop the site back in 2002, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he just wants to talk through. We interview him about what was the plan was about.
Which they were so exciting.
And it was a very good plan.
Exciting and so sort of sympathetic to actually the architecture of Ramsgate. It would have been brilliant.
Yeah, what difference it would have made both to the front and also to the town.
The economy, what we have lost. But anyway, please watch.
Here's the interview.
This one night when I was coming home from Belgium, that place was on fire next to it.
Mm-hmm. Which place was on? Oh, the
Pleasurama.
Pleasurama. So that was 1998.
I've been here for a while then, but that was 2002.
But the Pleasurama burnt down in 1998.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That's when it burnt down. Well, that's when I was coming in and I saw that.
Yes.
But I heard that it was going to be up for grabs, that they were looking for tenders to rebuild it. That was something I heard through somebody. It wasn't advertised locally, it was advertised in a strange place. But I put a proposition together with a friend of mine, Tony Brown, who just built he'd just finished a development called Westcliff Park, opposite the boating lake.
Oh, right.
And that's a little block of houses. He makes everything, his style is very sympathetic to the area.
Lovely.
So he used old flint stones on the walls, and it looks like it'd been there for a long time.
Right.
He did another one at the top by that pub that closed down with the green roof. Sion place or something. Anyway, he's built a block of flats there, and they look like they were built before a lot of the others.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's good at that. And anyway, we got together about the Pleasurama site.
Yes.
And with Tony and a lot of his colleagues, we put together this proposal to build some apartments, a swimming pool, an apartment hotel, and some an entertainment centre along the seafront, and so there would have been a colonnade along there with shopping on the left, and then the art centre, and the best part really was the swimming pool right at this end by the roundabout.
Yes.
So that's all in.
Because by that point, the swimming pool further along the coast was long gone.
Yes.
Yes.
And also they were having trouble with the swimming pool at by the railway station. Newington.
Yeah, Newington, yes.
Yeah, because that kept leaking and stuff like that.
Yes.
So we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity. And that, as part of the deal we put together, we were going to give that to the council so they could use that.
So can I just ask, when you were sort of like, getting these plans together, did you meet and think, right, we want this, and how did it work?
I sat in here one night with Tony, and we walked up and down there, and we designed it on the back of a beer mat.
Well, they were very big beer mats in those days.
Have you kept it for posterity?
Tony's got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. He's got the beer mats.
Has he got it framed?
I think he probably has. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Maybe we need to interview Tony Brown, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Yes.
We do. Because we we put together our presentation, which I've shown you.
Yes. Yeah? Can we have a quick just mosey? Because it would just be lovely just to see the full picture because
I don't know if you can see. That was a proposed kind of elevation of it there.
Yeah. Because it's so
we designed it to look
the arches on the other
and this
side.
was all going to be in brick with a domed copper roof, so it was looking a bit like the building which is now in Wetherspoons, the casino there. And we designed it so it's like 3 train carriages, you see, as this used to be
a train station.
There used to be a train station there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this area at the front would have been where the swimming pool was, and then the entertainment centre was here, with an auditorium facing the sea.
Wonderful.
And then there was going to be shops along here, and then parking was at the rear and underneath,
right,
and apartments there. The apartments, of course, would have been what would have paid for the whole job.
Right.
So we managed to get it financed as well. Let me just
How much finance did that require?
17.5 million we managed to get together. That's what it was costed at that time.
Right.
To do everything. So we organised the money, so we didn't need to borrow any money from the council. We had a little meeting with them, because we were shortlisted to us and another company. And we made the presentation. And then we were told afterwards that 2 weeks after we'd made the presentation at the council, that no, we weren't successful, and it went to another company who was Whitbreads. They wrote us a letter to tell us that. But I contacted Whitbreads about it. They said to me that they'd pulled out of it 2 years previously. So
do you still have that letter?
Tony's got that.
That sounds like
something that we
need
to get that one.
He did actually follow that right up to the Ombudsman.
Really?
Yes, but we were told that it was beyond their control, they couldn't do anything about it.
Which is amazing, considering you had funding completely and also quite high level funding, didn't you? You had funding
from Rothschild's Bank offered to give us the money, also the Royal Bank of Scotland, because we had a good concrete project, and the freehold was included, so that they would have had the security of the freehold, because you can't borrow that sort of money without the freehold.
But also the costings, because you actually worked out, you had a timeline. When would
part of the deal with the council was that the job was finished by 2006. Okay, there is a timescale there that shows which parts of the buildings would have had finished by when, and the final part would have been finished in 2006.
So you're talking about a 4-year total
to build the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work there.
Yes, huge area.
Yeah, I mean now that would have been, it's 18, so it would have been 14.
Would have been
they would have had revenue for lots of years.
For 12 years.
Yeah.
Yes, they would have had revenue for 12 years. You'd have had more employment to the area. I mean, it would have.
And a swimming pool on the beach.
And a swimming pool on the beach, and an entertainment centre.
And
you know, and more housing, which they need.
Yeah.
You know, and it had a small hotel, and it had cafes, and it had a little supermarket, didn't it?
Right.
A little supermarket?
Yes, it had a little supermarket.
Yeah,
it was so comprehensive.
That was one of the shops, like a mini,
mini mart,
mini Tesco's.
Yeah. I mean, where were you before you became interested in this?
When we took this, I was living and working in Brussels, and I wanted to open a brewery, and I couldn't do it in the place I was in Brussels because it's very difficult to get permission to do that there.
Okay.
And then this place came up, so we made this into a brewery, a bakery, and a cafe bar.
This is where Gads began, wasn't it?
This is, where we're sitting here is where Eddie came over from. I found him in The Hague in Holland running a bar.
Right.
He was brewing there at a place called, I think it was a Fidder and Firking.
Right.
And the Firking group they were selling that operation, and the people that were taking over, I don't know if it was a punch group buying it or selling it, but the people that were taking it over were going to keep all the pubs but stop the brewing operation.
Right.
So Eddie thought this was going to be a great idea to come here, so we came here and bought the equipment from a pub called the Ferret and the Fox and Firkin in Ford Inn in London.
Right.
And set it all up here, and that's where Eddie started. And we sold the beer here, and then Eddie sold out to other places, and then the brewery outgrew the place.
Well, I mean, all of his beer has always been fab. So
yes, he's won so many awards. He's just he's a master.
Yes.
Yeah. What did you and Tony, sort of decide had happened as to why your plans were turned down?
We were all very excited about this. It was great and it's going to happen, but it didn't happen. And then realising there's obviously a little bit of nonsense going on at that government, at that council level, it stopped me really pushing forward to try and do other things around here, because I just had a feeling that, well, if you do anything very exciting, and there might be some money involved in it, someone's going to take your idea away. You'll never catch up on that time lost.
No, absolutely. To Ramsgate.
In revenue, and actually putting something seaside in a seaside town, the sort of thing that, when it was Pleasurama, Jimmy Godden had that, and it's doing seaside stuff in the seaside town. That's
it's so appropriate. Yeah.
He's a specialist at doing that.
Yes.
So it's,
yes.
Yes, it's fair to say that you were a Jimmy Godden fan, really, weren't you?
Oh, he was an energetic man.
Yeah.
An energetic man.
Yeah,
yes.
he was a strong character, and he did a lot for the area, created lots of jobs, and did seaside things, seaside towns.
But would you say that actually having a town that for now 20 years has been had its seafront blighted, do you think that has impacted even the morale and of people?
It stops. But guys like me make things different. We do different things in towns and seaside places and wherever. But it tends to block people like us bothering. We go, oh well, there's no point in bothering because you won't be able to do it.
Yes.
And it creates that kind of thing.
A reduction in sense of possibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I find it just a terrible shame.
Yeah. I'm sure it's cost the town tens of millions of pounds of income.
Yes, they must have been getting a good income when Pleasurama was rocking.
I'm sure.
I can't understand who was out to gain from it or whatever, because all this time's passed now.
Yes.
And nobody's really, maybe somebody gained something about starting this project several times, I don't know.
Yes. So thank you so much. No, it's been wonderful.
So that was Andy's interview.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was, and as we've said before...
Were you surprised? Actually, because did you know anything about it before, we did the interview?
No.
Neither did I, and I've been so involved with the politics since I've been here, with the politics surrounding Pleasurama. So, to me, it was a complete revelation.
Yes.
And it was so thrilling. He had the funding.
£17.5 million.
All set and ready to go.
Beautiful designs.
Amazing designs. That entire thing ready, the timeline, and it would have been up and working and generating employment and money to Ramsgate. And,
to a town like Ramsgate, this is really a very big loss.
It's huge.
And, Private Eye described Thanet District Council in its dealings over a lot of this stuff as supine. Basically, it was probably being charitable, because the council has been really piss poor at sorting this site out on behalf of the community.
Would you say just that? You could say absolute dereliction of duty to the population.
Quite possibly. I think the sale of the freehold
was a dereliction
was an idiotic thing to do.
But also they weren't, as far as I understood it, the freehold should not have been sold until the development had been completed. That was my understanding. And so it was a complete shock to the population and those who had greater knowledge and involvement that had been done, and it was done without any of the councillors knowing. It was done with only the chief legal officer, the then leader of the council, Chris Wells, and the deputy leader, what's her name, Lynn Fairbrass. They were the only people who were in the know.
Yes, so that was a miscarriage of local democracy.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we'll revisit this from time to time because
we have more information on it.
And the politics around it is rather murky. I'm sure there were all sorts of murky schemes up and down the country, and we wouldn't be averse to actually looking at those either, would we?
We would not, no.
But anyway, for the time being, bye for now.
Goodbye.